Oh, Diarra, you impressed yesterday, much to the dismay of many Leeds United fans who wanted to keep you a secret. Secret is out. Also, I want to speak about his Senegalese teammate who I thought would probably look good in a Leeds shirt too. We're going to get into him in just a moment. And also another Chelsea-Strasbourg thing. It's just the theme of these videos lately. But a goalkeeper that's been left out of Chelsea's World Cup squad and could be available. But we got to start here on Transfer Talk with a player who we, by all reputable sources, have put in a bid for, and that's Habib Diarra, who absolutely displayed his talent on yesterday's stage against England. Big stage as well. It's a friendly, but the national audience saw it, fans saw it, and are going, "Ooh, who's that guy?" And listen, I put out his goal on my IG stories yesterday, and some of the responses, I mean, some of you guys, so defeatist, oh, that's it now. Strasbourg going to put on 10 million on the price. Oh, that's it now. Leeds are never going to sign this guy. But guys, what I will say is that what you saw yesterday, by the way, his performance was everything I described in the video where, we first had the bid put in for him. Just an all-round midfield display, man. Just press resistant, find himself in spaces, got himself a goal. It was just brilliant, wasn't it? Box to box. He was just special yesterday. And it's one of those things now where are Leeds United going to get this guy? Well, his agent has come out and has basically made his stance clear that Leeds United are an option, but there are other options as well to consider, and they're going to take their time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I will say to that, every club has a deadline for a player, and Leeds United are no different. They'll want to answer by a certain date. But you've got to be, people, in the conversations for these kind of players, because these are the players that take you to the next levels. These are the players that make you look less than ordinary, or just look like you're going to have a plucky chance to having a legitimate chance of fighting relegation and just, waving bye-bye to it by a certain game week rather than scrapping till the final 2 game weeks of the season. This is the kind of talent that does it. Now, will we get him? I don't know, but we don't back out the race, people. And some of your responses yesterday, people, it's just... with some of you guys' attitudes yesterday, we would never have signed Manor Solomon once Ajax made their interest known. You guys would have just backed out. Oh, Ajax, big bad Ajax are coming in. We're second-tier Leeds United. Don't even bother conversating anymore. You can't operate like that. You have to be as ambitious as possible. And this is where the board, the recruitment team have to be hard and aggressive with someone like Habib Diarra, selling him everything on the project, making assurances that if it doesn't work out, for the club-wise, this will be the path to his next step. That's what would have been, let me tell you, give me a secret here. That's what would have been happening at Aston Villa when they were recruiting players like Habib Diarra and all these guys. But the thing is, because Villa was so ambitious and got themselves a real, ambitious coach as well, they are now in tiers where they're signing big players, big players, and they want to stay at Aston Villa. And that's my hope for this club. That's the best case scenario, that we're signing players like this and we'll go to the defender later, and they want to stay and see out the project rather than us being a stepping stone. But if we need to be a stepping stone, people, that's what we've got to be, because that's the aim of the game for us in our first couple of years back in the Premier League. We need to solidify ourselves before we can be established. And this is how you do it. It's players like Diarra. You have to be in the conversation, and you can't just run off as soon as you hear Brighton are interested or Villa are interested. You've got to hope that this recruitment team backs themselves so much, sells this club's project so well, that Diarra and players like him will come to the club, and it will be easier then for the next player to come along, because they're looking at who you sign and going, I want to be a part of this. I can see what you're doing. But Diarra yesterday, in terms of him, I need that. I need that. Just an all-round action midfielder. And listen, it's not going to be any easier. I'm sure a lot of other clubs, it would have, re-piqued their interest as well. Like, what, Leeds United are going for him? Let's put a bid in ourselves. Sure, that will happen, people. But listen, whether we get him or not, this is the kind of player that takes you to the next level. Not certain other players that we've been talking about previously that I don't care about. This is the kind of player that does it. But yeah, we will see what happens with this. I do hope Leeds United stick with it though, and keep talking with Strasbourg, get a price agreed, and then can really speak to the player and sell him the Leeds United project, man. Let's go for this one, man. Let's shoot for the stars, man. You don't shoot low. You got to shoot for the stars and hope you get them. And if he's not gonna come, go for your next top target, before you have to go to the litter of your list, which hopefully isn't too bad. But you want to get players like this for sure. But one other player that caught my eye as well was El Hadj Diouf. Not old Diouf that we had before, the lovable Diouf that was probably one of the bright sparks in our dark days in our championship run. But yeah, and he's no relation to Diouf as well, before anyone asked that question. But yeah, left back, can play left midfield as well. Slavia Prague. I was looking into him, and he is a very, very tidy player. And this is just from clips. I didn't watch full games of him, but just from the clips I saw and from what I saw yesterday, just absolute two-way defender, defends well. His delivery is sensational as well, brilliant going forward. But Slavia Prague, looking at some of the previous reports, are looking for over £20 million for this player. I don't blame them. I don't blame him. He looks like he's one hell of a talent. But yeah, it's one of those where if you're going for an outstanding left back, we mentioned Alex Moreno yesterday as your steady Eddie, kind of one that will be your defender first before going forward. Well, this is the one where you put in the games where you feel you're going to win. You know what I mean? And he can make all the difference. I like the look of this kid, immensely. And I don't know if we'd ever be in the conversation for him, but Liverpool were looking at him previously, but obviously they got Kirkes now. Brighton were looking at him, but I think they signed, I can't remember the Turkish guy's name, but they signed another left back. But yeah, he definitely caught my eye. And it's along the lines of another one I've mentioned, Maxim De Cuyper, just your all-round complete left backs that I wish Leeds United were looking into. They're going to be pricey, but they can be difference makers at that spot. And we know fullbacks can be very, very important in the Premier League, depending on the style of play that you have. But yeah, Diouf, I like the look of you, man. I like the look of you. But speaking of a defender we have been linked with and are in talks with in Jaka Bijol, talks are still ongoing according to reports that, with Udinese trying to get to that magic spot in between 17 to 18 million. And I'm sure that will be done. But yeah, it's about getting this one over the line. And this is what I'm talking about, man. A Bijol coming in is pretty big. You know what I mean? Especially with interest from the Milan clubs. And if we can get him, then I feel like that kind of sets a launching pad for other players around this kind of similar talent to go, all right, Bijol's here. I like what you're doing. Let me see what else you got. What else you got? Josh Sargent? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is a kind of defender that I want to bring in. Just solid. People talk about his pace. There's nothing wrong with his pace. But even when you look at like a Milinkovic at Forest, he's not the quickest. You know what I mean? It's not always about pace. It's about how good you defend. And if you're positionally sound, you've already won half the battle. You know what I mean? So don't worry about anything like that. Jaka Bijol is an aerial threat, good with both feet, solid defender. You know what I mean? What's not to love? What's not to love? But we shall see. I do think that this one will get completed as long as one of the Milan clubs don't like hijack it. I do think Leeds and Bijol have a mutual interest. It's just about agreeing the fee at this stage. And now we know we're in for Yahir Fofana. And that one is still ongoing, the 8 million rated goalkeeper. But Petrović, who I've mentioned before on here, was left out of Chelsea's Club World Cup squad, and they took another 3 goalkeepers, and they didn't even sign Mike Maignan before the deadline. So they're taking Sanchez and 2 other goalkeepers, basically. But they're not taking Petrović, and that could mean that his future at the club is gone. Now, if Fofana, whatever reason, doesn't work out or we can't get him, then it's worth going in for Petrović if he's available for a certain fee. As one report was saying he's 14 million rated. I think Chelsea want a little bit more than that, I think, maybe, but we've seen with the prices of goalkeepers so far this summer, they haven't been that expensive. So maybe there is scope for Petrović to be available. But yeah, if we can't get Fofana in, then Petrović is definitely worth a look at, because this is a kid, a goalkeeper that is ready for regular first team football, and I've got no doubts he will adapt to the Premier League. No doubts at all. Very, very good goalkeeper, man. But yeah, listen, that is the update for today, guys. Don't give up hope with Diarra. Keep hope alive. You know what I mean? Like the video before you go, please, and big up to all members of the channel. Thank you for that support. It really does mean a lot. And if you want to donate via super thanks in the comment section, please do that as well. It helps out a lot as well. Guys, I will see you in the next update. Peace out.